side.
For any successful elephant hunt, there are numerous tracking sessions that either result in a bull that is deemed too small or a track that is lost to one of numerous reasons. These should not be thought of as failures, as not only does one experience the wonders of the African bush, but it is these experiences that make the success that much more appreciated. Here are several such events that Mike experienced on his successful hunts. Zimbabwe rainy season is from November through to April. The early season elephant hunts are during the latter part of our rainy season. One day we woke up to quite an ominous morning. There were heavy clouds and a storm was brewing. Getting out of camp was a slippery affair after the previous evening's storm. We were driving, looking for tracks in the mopane forest when the storm that was threatening started to drizzle. Eddie, on what we call his office, found us a nice track to follow.
What we've got is a 19-inch track. Yesterday we heard them on the Mozambique side making a lot of noise, and we predicted they'd come back. It looks like they have. So a 19-inch track, Mike, that's worth following. It's raining, as you can see. We've got to hope that it doesn't get to a point where it's absolutely
starting to obliterate the
track. But at least with this long grass, we can still see where the grass is down. But if they get to an open area and this rain obliterates it, well, that's the end of that. But we just, fingers crossed, he's about probably 5 hours ahead of us would be my guess. That time he crossed here. So depending what they do, there's a big GS block there. I think they'll get in there and slow down. But it's going to be a situation where we're going to have to get into the herd. He'll join the herd. There's cows left and right of them, so he's definitely part of it.
Going to be in the group. Okay.
Tracking is difficult but possible as the rain is not too hard and at least the walking is quiet with the damp undergrowth. Unfortunately, the bull continues north where there is more of a serious storm brewing. Despite fresh dung, the tracks are getting harder to follow. The big bull track can still be seen every now and again due to his big lugs and cracks in his feet.
Mike, we're at a point where the rain has obliterated even the big bull track. The cracks and everything now are flattened with the rain. What we're following here is just where the herd is far, and our only hope is that he stays with the herd. And we track to a point where they're on top of the rail and you can see what there is there. So we're clutching our straws a little bit, but that's our only chance. If he goes off, there's no ways we can identify the track. So we've just got to bank that he does stay with the herd. And we'll keep pushing like that.
After a further hour of amazing tracking, it is not looking good as the tracks are disappearing before our eyes.
Well, we're down but not beaten. We started tracking an elephant bull this morning, probably around 7 o'clock. And had a beautiful track, lots of deep crevices, and he was sort of in and out of cows, but largely by himself. And we were making good progress in keeping up with him, and then it just came a good heavy rain, and the rain just obliterates the tracks unless you can catch it in the sand or an area that's dry. And there's not much dry out here right now, including us.
The rainy season often means getting horribly stuck. It also makes for some hard walking. On another occasion, we ended up not having enough daylight hours to catch the 2 bulls we had been following all day. When we could not find a track on the roads, we started searching the numerous sand rivers, hoping to find a fresh track crossing. 2 bulls did cross, and we started following them down one of these rivers. In this river, Nyati, my tracker, gave us a bushcraft lesson.
So you call them madora.
Madora, yes.
And how do you cook them? How do you eat them?
You first press them,
Yeah.
then
All the guts come
all
out.
the guts come out. Then you dry them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you can just put them in oil, hot oil.
And you fry them.
How do you
Yes,
dry
fry
them?
them.
Just in the sun?
Yes.
Just like biltong.
Yes, yeah.
Madora, but these are young, eh?
Yeah, they are still young. When they are fully grown, you see these little heads,
Yeah, they will come off.
they come off.
What do they taste like? Chicken?
No, slightly not like chicken.
These sand rivers have many spring-fed pools in them, and we are lucky to see a terrapin in one of them. The tracks lead us, not surprisingly, back into the Jess.
Basically, Mike, this is what one would term an elephant with bad table manners. This is a good chewed up piece of grass. You see how he's chewed it into a nice ball ready for swallowing. You know, you can actually open it. You see that? He's chewed a nice ball and he's fell out of his mouth before.
Like elephant chewing gum.
Pretty much, yeah. But it's amazing if you look at how sort of badly chewed it is. An elephant's digestive system actually not very, very efficient.
Pretty crude. Yeah, you still have the flowers.
But yeah, he's going parallel to the border now. It'd be quite nice if he turns up. There's a little Jess block there, which would be quite nice if we can catch him in there. He's still a little ahead of us.
Okay.
Eventually, the tracks lead into a huge herd of elephant.
Yeah, they're going like that. That bull we've tracked obviously has come into this big group here.
We try to see if our big bulls are amongst them, which is not easy considering visibility is very limited.
I spot that one up and upset the cows. The cows all around here. We just want to see the track if it's one of our big bulls there.
It turns out that they were not our big bulls we were tracking. Leaving Mike, we circle around until we find their tracks and continue to track them, but we have lost valuable time. As the sun sets, it's obvious that we have run out of time.
Mike, we're gonna leave these bulls. We've got about 10 minutes of light. The road is about 1 kilometer from here, so let's leave them. We know which block they're in. We'll come around tomorrow, see if we can pick up on them and try again.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Understand.
The rainy season finds big herds of elephants joining up. Since it's a heightened breeding season, the bulls go in and out of the herds. It is not often that you catch the bulls in the open, and the thick bush can sometimes make it too dangerous to attempt. While tracking this bull, who is in musk, we find one unfortunate casualty.
Like, this is our most dangerous scorpion. It's a Parabuthus, and the things that you look out for is the smaller the clipper and the bigger the sting. You see how long his sting is.
Yeah.
They are terribly dangerous, but if you're standing in the wrong place at the wrong time, the elephant that we're following stood on him.
Crunched him.
Got one better on him, but you don't want to get bitten by one of these guys. You'll be out of action for a couple of days.
Really,
It's horrible, horrible poison.
quite a punch for a little thing.
The tracks lead us from the grasslands into the Jess, where he joins a herd.
You can see there, Mike, that's a cow in season. She's in estrus, and that smell we smelt of that strong smell, that's a bull heavy in musk. And all this ranting and raving going on, it's a bull chasing the cows and probably focusing on her a lot. The problem with it, you never know which direction they're going to come when they get chased. It's pretty, you've got to be on your toes. But that's exactly what that is. It's probably about 70 or 80 elephant at least in here. That's it. I reckon that big bull we followed will be in this group somewhere. All we can do, Mike, is go in on the edges, and if we see him, go in and do it. Just hope the wind holds for us. I've seen there 3 bulls there. 2 are no good, the other one I haven't seen.
In the end, a young bull charges towards us, and we have to shout him down, hence ending the chance of finding our big bull.
Hey, 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 hop, 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 hop.
Approach after approach in the thick Jess takes its toll on you not only physically, but mentally, as you are on high alert the whole time.
Shit hits the fan, we go in here.
Up, come on. Come back. Come here. Come, move.
No, you can't even see them. You can't even see them.
It's so frustrating. What can you do?
Yeah. I mean, did you get a look at any of them going that way?
Not really. Bits of grey. I couldn't tell you. Cow, calf, bull.
There are times when discretion is the better part of valor, and it's just not worth pursuing.
Mike, we are going to get someone squashed in here. Visibility is 0. Mike. smelt as they're running around now. Right, it's here, guys.
Then there are the numerous bulls that you follow and catch that are not big enough. Here are just a few of the many bulls that we looked over with Mike.
He's loving that baobab, Mike. This green stuff to eat. What it is the fiber. You know, at this time of the year, they're eating a lot of grass, so they actually need to supplement with a bit of fiber. And that's what he's doing. He's a young bull. You can see he hasn't really grown into himself yet. He's got nice long but thin tusks, so no weight at all. And he's heard us. See, from the going away angle, the tusks always look longer than they are. You've got to be very careful of that. Same with deer antlers. Really? Yeah, big-bodied bull, really slender tusks. I see get that here. So we've tracked him for about 2.5 hours, and he was about 30 maybe on one side and then less on the other, but very mismatched. One tusk was straight down and one was the normal shape. Anyway, good omen for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Big in body, he's got a big tear in his ear, he's got shitty tusks. The one on the right is a bit better, but nothing for us. We just want to hear if there's a second one there. Look at that male tiger. That was a better trophy than the elephant.
This was our second day on Sable.
Mac came out in February, which is very much considered our rainy season. He was after a sable, but his priority was a good elephant bull. The first morning, we found good elephant movement and had the liberty of turning down some smallish tracks.
Seen his front foot somewhere.
Yeah, this is his front foot. You know, it's not a big front foot. Eh?
Yeah.
It's not a big front foot. But, you know, I think being the first day, I think let's carry on and we can always come back to him. He's from, I'd say, probably early morning, like sort of 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You can see how the ants there are getting underneath him.
Right.
And, you know, it's interesting this time of year because of the green grass. Look at their dung. They're mainly eating grass. You'll see that it's like an luminous green. Later on in the year, the dung, when they're relying on bark, becomes red because they're mainly eating bark. Now, Mozambique, something we've got to be aware of back, and it will happen on this hunt. Mozambique is maybe 5 or so kilometers that way. There will be times where we follow and they cross, but there also will be times where we're picking big bulls coming in. That's just the way it goes. But let's carry on up to the beacon and see what we see.
It was not long before we find tracks of 2 decent bulls.
Mac, you see this one bull, there's a decent bull in the group. He's not a huge track, but he's got lots of nice knolls, a little bit of wear on there. Not quite as big as the other one, but still an interesting track, yeah? You see all these knobs on there. Okay. I think we probably, as much as I want to find a lone bull, there are 2, decent tracks and not such a big group. I think we should go on them. And
we'll carry on with Eddie carrying on. Guns loaded and water bags full, we set off in pursuit. Like most elephants, the bulls meander and feed in the mopane and then start heading into the jess, where we know that they are likely to rest up in the heat of the day. Not long into the jess, we bump into a couple of very nice old buffalo, or more commonly known as dugger boys.
Yeah, that's the proper thunder. Those are two good bulls that you'd be proud to shoot.
I'd say he's all of 40.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. And he was also, he was
I couldn't see if he was real hard.
It was one of those that would have been, but it would have been hard to say no.
The trackers do an amazing job working out where the bull has gone, as it's made difficult with several elephant cow herds that are on top of our bull tracks.
There's two. The bigger herd has gone that way, is that broken?
The bull takes us to a beautiful pan in the middle of the jess. This is a great find for me, as I've never been to this pan before. It is hot and humid, and after leaving the pan, it is not long before we hear the bulls ahead of us.
It's a young bull.
Buzz walked the shit out of us today, and seen a few elephant, but no bulls yet. No big bulls.
Two little bulls with combined ivory of about 5 pounds. So nothing to shout home about, but good first day. We walked, 15 Ks at least today, maybe 20 with the afternoon walk.
Hot and humid.
Very hot and humid.
2 days later, and it's another early start.
It's a track well worth following. It's got a much bigger front foot.
Our legs are sore after tracking a bull all day the previous day, which we lost in and amongst some cow tracks. The trackers never cease to amaze me as they work out where one bull goes amongst the dozens of elephant tracks that are fresh through the grass. We hear them, check the wind, and do our approach.
Very pretty ivory, do you see that? Have a better look at it. It's long, but it doesn't look very thick. Let's go look at that one. Very pretty bull. Yeah, between 40 and 45. Let's try and have a look at the other one. Another solid 40 MC. Back. They're young. The left side about 40 and the right side is broken. He's probably about 35 on the right. He's got a very big head, so he's not very young. No, he's not young. Put out to see it. Pretty bull, but again, day 3, we would, yeah, and he's had a big head over him, man.
On the way back to the car, we amazingly find our big bull track that we lost yesterday and decide to follow him. Thankfully, we catch him quite quickly in the very thick bush.
around on the track.
We hear some other elephants close by, so we have a quick look. But they turn out to be cows and way too close for comfort.
Okay, let's get back on the bull track.
We track the bull from where we had seen him, and luckily we catch him in some relatively open country.
We should take that elephant. It's a nice bull. We should take that bull. Yeah. Side brain shot when he comes past. Okay, you can take a brain shot. Yeah.
And again. Load up. Just be careful there, man. Okay, wait there. That's a good bull.
That bag is heavy.
That's a bull. Well done, man. That's a bull.
Thank you.
We're all safe there, guys. Right on the border. It's done.
That's where I was going on that first. I must have gone in front of it, huh?
Just in front of it. There we go.
Heavy bull.
Beautiful bull. Mac, well done. To turn that down on an elephant hunt in Zimbabwe, you can't do that. It's thick ivory. Well done, Mac. Well done. Hey, gentlemen. Yeah, well done. Hey. That's an elephant.
Thick.
That is thick and it holds its weight. Yeesh.
Don't got the length,
Man,
it's thick. Much.
that is serious. Eh? Yeah, no, he's solid 50, huh? Solid 50. You know, Mac, I love for people to have a good experience, but anywhere in Africa, if you see a 50
No,
pound,
yeah, are you kidding me?
that is a bull. That is a bull. Eh? Hey, my 17 inches at the lip, eh? Even 17 and a half at the lip, eh? 8, 16, 24, 32, three and a third sticking out. Yeah, 50 plus. That is a beautiful bull. And you know what? About another 100 meters and we'll see. I mean, the border is the border is right there. Yeah, he is a beauty. Hey. Was that your first shot?
This was my first. I went for the eye.
Oh, you did?
I was going right for the eye.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said eye, and then I seen that didn't, so I pulled it back.
Okay.
And I don't think he still was really brained on the second one, but he's enough that he
He
didn't
was
like it.
done, boy. That 470 is a nice gun. Hey, yeah, that's an elephant there. Look at those feet there, Jim.
Yeah.
Mac, you'll find this bull. He's an old bull. Look at his sunken in temples and all that. You'll find that he's got lead, definitely. A bull this age, living near Mozambique, he'll have lead in him. That's the first time I've seen these cutting edge bullets, and a Woodley would never exit like that. It would be stuck up somewhere in the back end. So that's impressive. Eh? I think, Mac, you can safely say you shot a Mozambique bull. I'm pretty certain that this guy is not a Zimbabwe boy.
You're on camera. You better be careful there, Buzzy.
But for once, I can officially say it died in Zimbabwe. an easy recovery because we've got a border road here. Depending which. I mean, look at that. That's,
Between which border?
yeah, between which
You're
border.
on
But look, we're right there. Parod 100, and not even. I'm glad I didn't shoot. It's always nice that. I mean, I do like shooting, but there was no point in that.
No.
If you took 2 steps after the second shot, I was gonna, because I'm in 100 meters and then you're not allowed to follow me.
Right. Right.
Hey, so guys, estimates, eh?
Very cool.
But I also do believe, like, that early season, the lugs are more pronounced. It's a bit like, you know, when you got granny feet from being in the bath too long.
Right.
But nonetheless, I mean, he was always going to have them. Look, you see how soft that is from the rain.
Yeah. I make good bar stools.
Okay. Yeah, that you'd have to take it. Even the back feet was impressive.
We've got hair.
You've got hair enough for bracelets and stuff?
Yes. What Mac's doing is an age-old tradition of cutting off the tail, which is a sign of ownership. In the olden days, the ivory hunters would carry on and leave a tailless elephant in the bush, and if anyone found a tailless elephant, they knew it belonged to someone. So it's an age-old tradition. Just cut that last bit of skin off there. There you go. See, you've done this before, eh, Mac?
Yes.
There we go. Officially yours. Well done, Mac.
Thanks, bud.
Well done. Nice tail. Get a few bracelets out of that, eh?
Last night we got some fresh rain, which was nice because we could see the new tracks this morning, and found one good bull track about 8 o'clock this morning. Set off after that, and he turned out to be a nice, probably about 45 pounder, wouldn't you say, Buzz?
I would say, yeah.
He joined up with 2 other bulls, one a little smaller than that, and then one quite a bit smaller. And we turned them down, and we're headed back to the truck and crossed this bull track. And it was one that we tracked yesterday for all day long that never caught up to. And we bumped him once and tracked him a couple of kilometers more after that, and he slowed down, and we were able to get a good shot on him.
Perfect shot. First shot rocked him a little bit in the front. The second shot brained him beautifully. And he was right near the Mozambique border, so if we'd left him another 10 minutes, I think he would have crossed over. But it's the earliest we've ever hunted. It's now middle of February, I believe. Yeah. And it's the earliest we've ever hunted. It's nice hunting this time of the year, so long as you don't get rained out. It's challenging because the bush, as you've seen, is unbelievably thick, and you do need a little bit of luck to get a shot in all the thick bush. However, there are some good bulls, like this guy come across from Mozambique, and although it was only day 3, it's a bull that you just cannot turn down. You're always in 2 minds about trophy versus experience, but Mac has hunted elephants before. He shot a good elephant with Len, and even though we're only on day 3 when this bull came out, there's just anywhere in the country you could turn it down and it'd be the right decision. So very happy to have done that. He's 3.5 foot out, 17 at the lip, and will be a solid 50 pounds. So very nice elephant, and a good day after a very hard day yesterday. So Mac, well done, good shooting.
Thank you. We'll do it again.
Thank you.
That was a disaster. Interesting to see.
Mike came out for a second early elephant bull hunt in 2014. We had had good rains before the hunt and were fortunate not to have too much rain during our hunt. After 11 days of hard hunting, news arrived late one evening of a crop-raiding elephant bull. This meant a very early start the next morning. It also meant wading across a swollen river to get to the field in question to see if the bull was worth following.
Go and give you those nice checkered blue underpants for Valentine's Day.
You like this shade of blue? You gotta work hard on a tan like this.
But the front foot is nice. This is the Manyemo River, Mike, and it's a nice bull that's been raiding here. Obviously the raiding is just starting. You can see the maize on the floodplains is much better off than the maize higher up, and the elephants are just coming in here to raid. Nice track to follow. We've looked at this guy, he's 20 inches, big front foot.
What do these bulls normally do? They like come in at night?
Yeah, they'll come in after dark, and there's big jess blocks here. They'll come and raid, and then at first light they'll move off. This bull's crossed over the river, so you two guys are going to have to undress again, and we'll get to the other side and then get on going. And it probably won't go too far, but it is a very nice track.
After an hour and a half of tracking, we could see that we were getting close as the bull started to meander back and forth. Every now and again, we stopped to listen, hoping to hear him in the thick cover, which would then give us the liberty of planning our approach. We found where he lay down and were lucky enough to see that from the indentations in the soft soil that he had two tusks.
See that tusk mark? He's laying on one side. He's laying over here on another side.
They were roughly 3 foot out and a decent diameter.
That's as big a dung heap as we've seen, isn't it?
Like what we're tracking through here is what we call a taxacanthus, which is like a rose thorn. And if you look at this really closely, you see these thorns coming off at 90 degrees. It's a terrible, terrible thorn. The elephants actually love it. They feed on it, which is amazing that they can get their trunks around this and rip it off without any problem at
Eat
all.
it with the thorns and all.
But you get really scratched up, and some points you've got to push yourself through this stuff, and you can get ripped up by
Rip
this.
yourself to shreds.
Yeah, acacia taxacanthus, horrible stuff.
Yeah.
High on the shoulder, Mike. He's been rubbing. It's the top of the mud. He's had a mud rub. This mud is still got texture, so this is for morning time sometime. Yeah.
After 2.5 hours of tracking, we heard the old bull down in a ravine below us. The bull suspected that we were there, and movement on the final approach is only when he is flapping his ears and making noise.
Good shot. That'll work, Mike. Very good shooting. Good shooting, Mike. Well done. Very good.
Well done, mate. Thank you.
Well done. Well done. That's one bit.
Well done.
Thank you, Martin.
Yeah? Good, yeah. Very good shooting.
Yeah. Well tracked, well hunted. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a proper hunt. Nice tracking. He was 12 hours ahead of us, and he spent a lot of time here.
Just
Round and round and round. Yeah, Mike, he's a good representative bull. He's got long, relatively thin ivory though, but a very pretty set of tusks.
Waar nog zit hij?
The closest we can get the car and Mike is where it is right now. That's with the early
On the cliff?
season. Yeah. With this early season, trying to get across the rivers and things. As far as an elephant hunt goes, what an absolute classical hunt.
Yeah.
We've been tracking for not long, 2 and a bit hours, but what you find often with these crop raiders is they don't go that far because they want to be close
Ready to
the
go
field.
back in the evening. Do it all over again.
Very good shot, 40 yards or so, which is far by our standards. But in this thick stuff, normally it's 5-10 yards, but we're slightly elevated.
Well, I mean, you're on a
We're on a cliff here.
cliff.
actually.
There's no way you're gonna.
We couldn't have got around. The wind was bad, and you think if we'd tried to do an approach in from there, we just would never have seen it. Going to make a lot of villagers very happy as well, mate.
You think they'll be happy to help with the recovery?
No, they'll be happy to fry the meat, but I think that's about as far as it goes. Right, let's go around and have a look at them. You all safe there, mate?
Yeah.
That blood flowing in the water here.
Yeah. What do it?
Well done, Michael. Very pretty bull. Very pretty. And perfect shooting.
Yeah.
They're amazing animals. They really, really are. 15 at the lip. Like very, very pretty bull. I honestly think with 3 days to go, we would have been pushing our luck. Well done, Mike.
Thank you, Buzz.
Very good shooting. Eh?
Thank you. You know, Buzz, I always find that, you know, taking an elephant is a very humbling experience because they're such a special creature in terms of just their social structure, and the hunt itself is, you know, a hard physical hunt. And certainly, you know, on our hunt, we've had the challenges of weather and heat and other things to deal with. But it's a good thing in the final analysis for conservation and the money that goes back into the sport. But nevertheless, there's always sort of a mixed set of emotions when you take an elephant. You're obviously thrilled with the successful outcome of the hunt, but by the same token, you know, you realize you've taken the life of a very special animal. Something that I think it's good just to reflect on what a special creature an elephant really is.
No, it absolutely is. It is an emotional moment to take an elephant. I've done lots of leopard, lots of buffalo, quite a few lion, and now I've done many elephant, and it's what I've decided to focus on because I find it the ultimate of the ultimate hunts, and it's a hunt that involves teamwork, and as you've seen, the guys without the trackers you're absolutely stumped. You will not even get up to an elephant. You may bump the odd one driving around. But early season like this, you know, you're not going to see anything without good trackers.
Yeah.
And I've hunted elephants obviously at all seasons and during all seasons. And for me, the early season is hard, but it's a very, very rewarding hunt. And seeing the trackers work their magic out here is a very special thing to see.
You know, it's just honestly, the hunt would not even be possible without good trackers. And it's amazing to watch them. They're professionals in every sense of the word, and to be able to watch them do what they do is an incredible experience.
No, it is. And I think the other aspect of the hunt, which is very important to me, and it's something that I've focused on for many, many years now, and that is when you take your elephant, a brain shot just seems to be, you know, the honorable way of doing it. And you saw with this bull today and many others that he didn't even know we were there. Well, he suspected something, he heard something, and when he gave an opportunity, bang, he was dead before he hit the ground. And they are a noble creature, and I think it's the honorable way of doing it.
I think, you know, when you think about hunting is a lot of different things. And killing the animal is actually sort of anticlimactic part of hunting. You know, the real part of hunting is, you know, finding the spoor, staying on the track, trying to make a stalk, you know, doing trophy selection, and it's so much more goes into an elephant hunt. To follow them in their territory, on their turf, and on their terms, it's a noble endeavor.
That it is, and if you compare different elephant hunts, going back to our story, which is early season, that takes it to be really the ultimate hunt. Your visibility is down to almost zero at certain times. The tracking is the hardest. The elements are hard. We've lost a few days to rain. We've lost situations where we're on a nice track and got rained out. We've been stung by numerous hornets.
Stinging nettles.
We drip liters of sweat, stinging nettles, as you say. It's a challenging hunt, and as a result, it's probably the most rewarding elephant hunt you can do.
Well, and one of the challenges of hunting early season in the Zambezi Valley is you get a lot of cows moving in and out with the bulls. And so even though you may be picked up on a bull track and tracking a bull, you know, it's not uncommon for then the cows to start moving in and over the top of the bull tracks, and it takes a tremendous amount of effort on the part of the trackers to sort that out, be able to re-pick up the bull track and get on it. And without the trackers, we would be hopeless hunting elephant, I'm afraid.